Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast, where we talk about everything dog. Q&As with veterinarian professionals, rescue operators, everyday topics. We cover everything dog on this podcast. So make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media on both Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for listening. Now here's that next episode. Thank you for joining us on this episode today. This is your host, Brittany, and we are doing an episode all about Pomeranians. So for the listeners that have been listening for some time, you probably already know that I am a Pomeranian lover. I have 3 Pomeranians currently. I have 1 that we got as a puppy and 2 that were rescues. I've had Pomeranians my entire life. And they share a lot of commonalities. So there's different personalities, different little quirks, different things about them, but just some general commonalities in the breed. And so that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So most commonly, Pomeranians are known to be in the toy group. According to the AKC, they're approximately 3 to 7 pounds. If you look at some of the other agencies, they identify Pomeranians closer to the 7 to 10 pound range. So pretty safe to say 3 to 10 pounds, but Pomeranians could be up to 15 or maybe even 20 pounds, just depending. They are a very small dog, but they have a big dog demeanor. They're very protective of their owners. They're highly intelligent. They are very good at learning agility and other training skills. But it is important to know they are pretty stubborn. So if you are getting a Pomeranian, I would suggest starting that training pretty early. And kind of part of that is, Pomeranians are known to be yippy dogs, and they do like to bark a lot. So that kind of comes in with that training piece and making sure they're socialized. So socializing your Pomeranian is so important, just like it really is with any other dog. Part of that big dog demeanor, though, can sometimes get them in trouble. So one of the things to think about whenever you are exercising your Pomeranian is just thinking about 2 of the most common health factors, or health issues, I should say, and that's luxating patellas and collapsing tracheas. So luxating patellas, that's really when the knee rotates out. So being mindful of this, not letting your Pomeranian jump off of the furniture, making sure they have a ramp or stairs to get on and off of things. And then the collapsing trachea, just being mindful of what you're using to lead them with. So normally you're going to be using a harness and not a collar. Some of the other common health issues that Pomeranians are known for are congestive heart failure and gum and tooth disease. Just being mindful of their diet, the frequency with which they're going to the vet, and what those vet visits consist of. Of course, making sure you're staying up to date on getting them dentals. Some other things to think about with Pomeranians, they do have a double coat. So what a double coat is essentially 2 different types of coat. And so think about an undercoat. They have a thick undercoat. So they don't have to be groomed a lot, surprisingly, but at least once a week, sometimes a little more. So just kind of one thing to think about. That's one thing that most new Pomeranians don't understand, is that undercoat. Some other things to think about with Pomeranians are, because they are so small and sometimes they kind of look like a little toy or a teddy bear, just being mindful if you have small children in the home, making sure not only is the dog protected, but also the children. Dogs can be very protective, especially of their owners. And so if you're bringing a new child into the home, just kind of something else to think about with Pomeranians. But overall, they're very loving, cuddly dogs. They aim to please their owner. They can be very stubborn, but they're easily trainable. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to add to this conversation, I'd love to hear from you. Or if you have a breed you're passionate about, please reach out and let us know. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you for tuning in to the Canine Culture Podcast. Please make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media. If you have any recommendations, any topics that you'd like to hear, if you know of any guests that would be good for the show, or if you yourself want to be a guest, please reach out to us. Send us an email at canineculturepodcast@gmail.com, or send us a direct message on social media. Thank you for listening, and please share this with any of your dog-loving friends.